Good morning, and good afternoon, or good evening to all our listeners around the world. Welcome to day number 2 of the BitMart and Friends 50th Anniversary AMA. Once again, I'm your host, Kelechi Ibe, and I thank you for joining us today. Today, we will be exploring emerging blockchain technologies, specifically on the Sui Blockchain. We have an exciting panel today to help us demystify this fast-growing blockchain, and that is generating a lot of buzz across the industry. And we're so glad to have our friends from Sui, some builders to celebrate our anniversary and also educate us about the blockchain ecosystem. So joining us today is Victoria Feng, our VP of Strategic Listing at BitMart. She will be moderating the panel. But we also have, like I said, our friends from the Sui ecosystem. So we have Brandon, who is the head of partnership at SuiGlobal. We have Russell, co-founder of OwlSwap. Nadia, CEO and co-founder of Ethos Wallet. We have Sean, the founder and CEO of SuiNs. We also have Jenny, the CEO of Talofa Games, and Paul, the founder of Capsules. Like I said, these are all exciting builders in the Sui ecosystem, and we're glad to have them celebrate our 50th anniversary and also educate us on the ins and outs of this fast-growing blockchain. But before we get started, I would like to read our disclaimer. The information provided is for general informational purposes only. All information is provided in good faith. However, we make no representation or warranty of any kind expressed or implied regarding the accuracy, adequacy, validity, reliability, availability, or completeness of such information. The statements or opinions expressed in this event are those of the authors and do not necessarily reflect the views of BitMart or its affiliates and shall now be considered professional financial investment advice. All crypto investments are highly speculative in nature and involve substantial risk of loss. Past hypothetical or simulated performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. The value of digital currencies can go up or down, and there can be substantial risk in buying, selling, holding, or trading digital currencies. You should carefully consider whether trading or holding digital currencies is suitable for you based on your personal investment objective, financial circumstances, and risk tolerance. So with that, we would like to begin the AMA. But before we do, I would like to remind our audience that the BitMart Anniversary campaign is live at the moment. Like we announced yesterday, we'll be having we have like a 1 million USDT promotion going on our website right now. So be sure to visit our website to get all information. But I'm going to go over them briefly here. So firstly, we have a trading competition where participants can win up to 200,000 USDT in tokens. So if you're a trader, this is something that you can take advantage of and enter for a chance to win some tokens. Secondly, we have our futures lucky draw, where our futures traders can participate and share in 300,000 USDT in rewards. Thirdly, and this is my favorite. It's very exciting. There's a 50% off flash sale in BTC, ETH, and Matic on the BitMart Launchpad page. So if you want to basically end up with more on BTC, ETH, and Matic, we highly encourage you to check out our website. Like I said in the beginning, it's not a financial advice. We're just letting you know that these promotions are currently going right now on our website. So be sure to check out our Launchpad page for more details. Additionally, our API users, we have a spot trading reimbursement campaign where you can basically get 9% of your spot trading fee back. So that's very exciting if you're an API user. We also have a treasure hunt campaign where users can win gold or silver shard NFTs for a chance to win 99 USDT. So it's like a mystery box. You open it up, you can win some prizes. So be sure to check that out as well. And last but not the least, for our live audience, we also have a 30 USDT giveaway for 10 lucky winners. So be sure to check out the pinned tweets on the Twitter space for all the details about all the promotions including the link to the main anniversary page where you can find all the details. So we encourage you to check that out and join us to celebrate our 50th year anniversary. So we thank you once again for being here. But with no further delays, I would like to pass the microphone to our VP of Strategic Listing, Victoria Feng, to kick things off. Victoria.
Thank you, Kelechi, for have this great start, and also thank you again. I wanna say something about us. It's been 5 years, and it's quite an amazing journey for me. I've been joining the team for more than 2 years now, so this is my second time to joining the anniversary, and today is actually the actual birthday for BitMart. So it has been a really pleasure time for me to join the industry and to know a lot of new friends, and has been working with the team, and also I think one of our mission is also about how we can be able to support and empowering the new technologies and the new ecosystem. So that brings our today's topic and how we be able to exploring the emerging technologies and as a major player in the industry, and how we be able to support this as much as we could. And I'm very pleasure to have the Sui ecosystem to joining us today. And we here have a few projects, and we also have the SuiGlobal is the top media for the Sui ecosystem. So first, I want to give each guest a little bit of time to introduce yourself and also your project. And let's start with OwlSwap. Russell.
Wow, it's an honor. I do tend to talk a little bit too much, so stop me when you need to. Really, no offense taken. So yeah, we are OwlSwap, and for those of you who have heard of us, good for you. And for those who haven't, feel bad for you. We are a visualization DEX built on Sui. What does that mean? So on the foundation of solving traditional roadblocks faced by DEX, we are actually emphasizing on the UI UX and making sure that the product we provide will be easy to use and quickly learn by all kind of crowd. So we started building about a year ago, beginning of last year, and currently we have 6 core members, including me. All of us are coming from either a top tier centralized exchange or have been building privacy blockchains in different areas. Besides me, everyone actually have over 5 years of experience in the blockchain industry. Me, myself, actually have a decade of experience working with traditional finance. Currently, I am responsible as a co-founder to take care of a lot of strategic level decision making, including partnership building and BD works for OwlSwap. I think that hopefully give a brief idea of what we do. Thank you.
Thank you, Russell. And for next one, I have the Ethos wallet. Nadia.
Hey, thanks for having us and happy anniversary celebration. I'm
Thank
Nadia,
you.
the co-founder and CEO of Ethos. We are trying to reimagine what a wallet is on the Sui blockchain. I love the theme for tonight's space because for us, we've always been really passionate as a team about how can you make new technology a part of people's daily lives in a way that's valuable, that's fun, that's meaningful. And so for us, we're really inspired by Sui and the Sui Move language. We feel like it really opens the door for builders trying to create new kinds of consumer experiences on the blockchain. And as a wallet, you kind of need to adapt to go from being a bottleneck and a technical sort of financial experience as it exists today to really being a home base to support more kinds of applications, more kinds of builders, and hopefully be a part of more kinds of users' daily lives. So we are building wallet infrastructure to help developers trying to create great user-friendly experiences on the Sui blockchain. We've got a wallet, which is a Chrome extension and browser-based app explorer right now, with mobile coming soon. And then we've also built a few applications in the early days of Sui Dev and Testnet. We're actually the first third-party app to go live. We've got a simple game called Sui 8192. And then we did a testnet app called Cappy AI, where we're playing around with the dynamic objects of Sui and kind of showing new kinds of fun experiences that are fully on chain, but also still fun and engaging, hopefully. So excited to be here with so many awesome founders and builders and operators and this great audience. Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Nadia. That's definitely interesting, and we would love to see more progress come out from the wallet side. And next, I have Sean from SuiNs.
Hey, everybody. Sean here. I'm the founder of SuiNs. Wanted to say happy anniversary to BitMart. 5 years in crypto is like, I don't know, 20 years in real life. So awesome achievement for getting to the 5 years.
But I wonder if that's just me, or are other folks able to hear?
I can
hear you, Nadia. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, Twitter does this pretty much all the time to keep us on our toes. So we're SuiNs. It stands for Sui Name Service. We have a team of myself and 4 developers. We've been building on the Sui blockchain since October of last year, so just about 6 months or so. We are what you think we are in terms of a name service. We'll allow you to represent yourself with a .sui name. That's a simple way for you to represent your wallet. So you can have a Nadia.sui or Sean.sui and be able to send and receive tokens from your wallet. We also have capabilities in our .sui service that allow you to really take advantage of some of the areas where the Sui blockchain is positioned for, namely around gaming and NFTs. And we've also built some innovative services. If folks on the line are familiar with the contract language for the Sui blockchain, it's the Move programming language. And so we've built the .move service, which allows companies to represent themselves in terms of the blockchain resources they own on Sui. So just like .sui allows you to represent your wallet, .move allows you to represent your contracts on the blockchain. And so our goal is to provide a simple, but also a safer experience for users on the Sui blockchain as well. Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Sean. And the next I have Jenny from Talofa Games.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, awesome. So I'm Jenny, CEO, founder of Talofa, and really excited to be here. So I've personally worked on games since I was 12, so ended up developing 10 mobile games that got 10 million downloads, and studied computer science at MIT as well, but also got recruited to the cross-country team and did 70 miles a week, ran varsity, did nationals, and I love fitness and gaming, so you can see where that comes into play for what we're building. But we also, as a team, we have people from EA, 2K, Riot Games, average of about 8 to 10 years in gaming, and we're VC funded. We the creators of Pokemon Go, Niantic, they gave us our first funding. So we're very excited to be building Run Legends on the Sui blockchain, and it's a game that's turning walking and running into a cooperative fitness battle game for those who want to enjoy fitness more. We're the first fitness game on Sui, and we want to change not just the view around Web3, but the fitness gaming space overall. Like, just make a truly great game that gets people to forget that they're moving, and we can change the world for the better. So that's what I'm the most passionate about. And obviously using a lot of the new tech and new tools that the blockchain provides is really interesting, but also just making it so that we're creating something that gets you guys out and socializing, and it's a multiplayer game, so we've got people playing together from like Australia to Ukraine to Pennsylvania. So it's a very action RPG based game, very much almost a mix of Pokemon Go and running. So happy to talk about it a little bit more, but we're really excited to be here.
Thank you, Jenny. This is definitely interesting, and you have such a strong team. And being like, I'm also a gamer myself, so we definitely can have something else. Want to talk about this later. And also, please, when the game is live, keep us posted. I think it's very exciting. And next, I have Paul from Capsules.
Hey there, yeah, I'm Paul Fidika. I'm founder of Capsules. So we've been working on this. It's a generalization of an NFT standard. It's a digital asset standard. We've been working on it since about October, and it's a bunch of tools that will help creators bring digital assets and buy and sell them, borrowing and lending. But more generally, NFTs have been too much of a financial product. People have viewed them more as an investment, and they've been very expensive, costing thousands of dollars, et cetera. We view them more as like that's why I'm not using the term NFT. I'm talking about digital assets because we're seeing them more as a consumer product where you could buy them for as little as like a few dollars, $5, $10. And we are looking to tie them into video games. We'll be at GDC actually next week, hoping to see a bunch of people there in real life. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. And also I have Brendan here, and he still have some issue for connecting. So we're gonna introduce him and also SuiGlobal later. Okay, thank you again for all the guests and also all the audience to joining us tonight. And I think we'll have some topics want to get covered here, and also like there's a lot of people very excited about the Sui ecosystem, and you guys has been doing a really good job for build everything from the scratch, for like DeFi's, NFTs, and wallet and DEX and all of these different sectors. So we definitely want to know more about the entire ecosystem. So I got a first question is the Sui blockchain has recently gained a significant attention in the crypto communities. And what do you believe set this apart from the other blockchains in the market and contribute to its growth of popularities?
So I can go first on that. I think when it comes to the Sui blockchain, there is, multiple areas of innovation as far as what you can do with the blockchain itself. And so, just from a general infrastructure perspective, the approach they've taken for allowing to scale, really bring on new types of use cases like gaming on the blockchain, the tokenomic model that allows you to scale, but at the same time keep gas prices relatively low, really allows for a lot of new and interesting use cases in terms of what you can run on the blockchain, what kind of data you can actually store on chain. And so I think that has really big implications when it comes to gaming in general. I think we've been talking about Web3 gaming for a number of years now. And so just from a general infrastructure perspective, I think it's huge. I can't wait to see what gets developed on the platform. And as we heard some of the speakers today, there's folks building on the platform currently. When it comes to just the Move programming language in general, my developers for our team, they come from a Rust background and they've built on Solidity. They often joke that they're sometimes scared to build on Solidity because they don't know what attack vectors there are, and you always have to be kind of looking behind and seeing like, did I open something up? Is this going to be a risk for us? And of course, any language that you program in is going to have a risk, but I think the surface area for attacks in terms of the Move programming language is considerably less. It allows users and developers to be much more efficient on the blockchain. And then generally from like a cool perspective in terms of, wow, I didn't know that we can do such things. I think the NFT model and some of the new use cases coming out with NFTs, things like dynamic NFTs and composability, which allow you to actually mutate or evolve the digital assets you have on chain through the actions or through time or through the seasons. I mean, you name it, really makes for an interesting set of new apps, new games, new DeFi protocols to be built on the Sui blockchain that I think you really haven't seen in other blockchains. And that's probably one of the big reasons why you're getting so much attention, with good reason. I mean, the Mistin team who created Sui have been building for a long time, and I think they're really making sure that what they release is a disruptive technology in general.
Thank you, Sean, for the sharing. And also, I would love to hear more about your opinion of the language later. And also, Paul, I want to get your some opinion on the like how the community has been growing, and like what is your point of view from like how the Sui be able to differentiate from the others?
Yeah, from a technical point of view, the programming model of Move is unmatched by other languages. So like I'll be talking to, so I have two Metaplex developers on my team, and they'll tell me, and I haven't developed Solana like smart contracts myself. I've worked with Solana, but like just explaining things on Sui, it's like they're like, oh wow, you could do like these dynamic NFTs and stuff like on Solana. What they try to do, such simple thing. What's really simple on Sui is like very complex on Solana. Like if you want to change like a single field on an NFT in Solana, like they call them like dynamic NFTs, you take like the old NFT and then you destroy it, and then you mint like a completely new one. And they're like, oh, how do you do dynamic NFTs and stuff? I'm like, it's just an object with a field. Like you just change the field. Like it's really easy. Other things changing. Gasless transactions are pretty cool. Like rather, I should say sponsored transactions. So like what I would like to see from wallets is removing Sui almost entirely from the user interface and gas costs from the user interface. And hopefully gas costs are sufficiently low and they can be subsidized by dApps or by the wallet itself that it's not something users even think about. It'll just be like you push a button, you approve it, things happen, and they don't think about like how much gas they have left or how much this transaction is going to cost or how long it's going to take, right? It's just removes one level of friction for users.
Thank you, Paul. And I think like from the technical perspectives, and you guys actually gave us a pretty good overview of like how the Sui can be able to differentiate from the other ecosystem. And I guess the other guest, maybe Russell, you can share some your opinion from the other side, maybe like the community builders, or like from like the other point of view, like to share some thoughts.
Yeah, happy to. So, like Sean and Paul mentioned, and first of all, I'm not a very technical guy, so, you call me from a good angle. But I do want to, address the Move language a little bit for sure, especially being a DeFi project. We have seen once again that centralized finance can have issues. A lot of concerns, and Move it's really a different breed of language. It's innovation. It's just mind-blowing, especially for DeFi's. It's resource type and building security check, the dynamic accounting model. It's all very reliable to build out a verifiable smart contract. It is certain that Solidity has a much better Feng or whatever you want to call it, a better crowd, a larger follower base. But we do, at least I think, being a DeFi project and being all of us being builders on Sui, we believe that Move can bring, solve problems we can't solve before and bring a brighter future for us. And, that's on the technical side. On the team, of course, we have been dealing with Miston for a few times. They are a very excellent team. Unlike many of other teams, we all know that Miston is coming from Meta. They're very organized. It's a very mature structure. At the same time, we do believe that Miston and Sui Foundation people are very much builders who are not into short-term gains or short-term profits. As we can see, we have been making sure that our product is the best before we launch. Thus, that we have been delaying it. Especially in this market, we think it's a smart thing to focus on the long term, and that's why we really will enjoy working with the community. So yeah, that's my 2 cents. Hopefully it helps.
Definitely. So, I mean, from like a lot of different perspectives, and Sui did a really, really good job. And each ecosystem, they have their own DeFi protocols, they have their wallet, they have their DEX. So, and I think this also, I want to have some opinion from Nadia. Like you're also a builder and working on a wallet. And could you share some like your opinions about like the whole Sui, how it has been differentiating from the others, and how your wallet has been working, things like that?
Yeah, happy to. I mean, I think to echo sort of some of the previous points, a big differentiator for Sui that stood out to us was Sui Move, which is really distinct from other languages, even Move from how it's used by other chains, which really enables Sui to be a higher performance blockchain. So it's faster, it's safer, it's easier. As Paul was saying, it really enhances the developer experience trying to build new sort of creative applications. But it also enables wallets to create that safer, more transparent, more seamless user experience for end users. Dynamic NFTs as well, I think, are pretty exciting. Low latency, making fully on-chain games and more engaging interactive apps possible. So for us, like what we're really excited is about that future of applications on Sui and use cases where you can start to go beyond sort of your traditional use cases, which work well there too, from DeFi, as Russell was talking about, to things like NFTs, but composable objects and dynamic NFTs, you can start to get into really interesting stuff, from really intricate on-chain games, as Jenny was talking about with what she's building, to social, useful storage. There's so many things, like your brain just gets going as a builder. And I think what's exciting is, like, for really the first time in my experience on blockchain, like your creativity becomes the constraint, not what you can do with the language. And for the wallet specifically, I think it really has to go beyond sort of being this, very transactional sort of Chrome extension where you're signing every single transaction, to something that's more fluid, that's more contextual, that fits more to how you want to interact. If you're playing a game that's fully on chain, it's really frustrating to have to stop and sign every single move. So something like batch pre-approving transactions, as we have for the Sui 8192 game, can really help there. On the other hand, if you are trading your precious, super valued NFT that you spent a lot of time grinding to earn, you probably want to make sure that there's a good amount of transparency, that you're transferring that out, and that is actually the action you want to take. So we've been spending a lot of time thinking about things like, how do you make transactions more human readable? How do you take advantage of some of the unique benefits that SuiMove offers, both for application developers and for us as a wallet, to just make the overall experience much friendlier, much safer, and just faster and more fun for users?
Thank you, Nadia. Actually, I have a follow-up question on this, since we're speaking of the Move program languages. And could you give us more information about how this differentiates from Solidity or Rust? Nadia?
It broke up a little bit for me there,
Okay.
Victoria. Oh, go ahead, Russell. Sorry.
No. I was trying to explain for you, but please go ahead.
I was going to say it broke up a little bit, but was the question about sort of SuiMove as a programming language and what's sort of distinct there?
Yeah, so I was wondering, since you bring up about Move, and I think everybody wants to know more about, like, how Move has been differentiated from Solidity or Rust or the other languages.
Yeah, of course. I think Paul is probably the best person to speak to it, but I will quickly jump in and say that I think that at sort of a high level, one of the biggest differences is you're able to do more writing less code, especially relative to Rust and Solidity, but also relative to Move as adopted by other chains with Sui. So it's a lot easier as a builder to sort of read and reason about. It means you're spending less time thinking about what you're trying to do. There's less complexity. There's less cost for things like audits potentially, because you have less code overall. But I would really defer to Paul on this one. I think your presentation at the Sui Builder House was like a masterclass on some of the nuances here.
Oh, thanks.
Paul, please.
I would say, in comparing the two, Ethereum is based around everyone deploys their own custom smart contract, and that custom smart contract acts as a table of ownership. And that means that every module or every smart contract has to define its own level of ownership. And then you're also kind of working with these tables. With SuiMove, it's much more intuitive, in the sense that things work like how you'd expect them to do. Like people might be surprised, under the hood on Ethereum, you don't actually have like an account or a wallet, or you don't actually have like these coins or anything. When you say like you own USDC, what that means is that Circle deployed this USDC program, and just think of it as a big table that they control. And then they have like your address next to like a balance. And then you have like this giant indexer that indexes everything together, and like presents your much nicer looking like wallet view in Ethereum. On SuiMove, it works much more like how you'd expect, in the sense that like it's a much easier to follow mental model. So you have like actual objects. So USDC would produce like a specific coin object, and then they would send it to you, and then it'd be in your wallet. And this gives users like a much, there's a sense of reusability of ownership. It's not that every module has to define its own idiosyncratic notion of ownership. It's more like there's a universal notion of ownership, and also there's a universal notion of like what a coin is or what an object is, and other programs can like understand that at compile time. If that makes sense, did that help?
Yes, definitely. Sean, do
Okay.
you want to add a little bit more on top of this?
I mean, in terms of the actual nuances or differences between Solidity and Move, I don't know if I have the expertise to give an opinion there. But what I can tell you at least is, I've been working in the crypto space for a long time. I've been managing dev teams, and just in practice to what Paul was talking about, our level of productivity is really through the roof. I mean, if you look at what we've built as far as a name service, we're still on DevNet, but we've had so much opportunity to build quickly. And so we build, we test, and even, folks in the community talk about, we're so surprised that you're already releasing this or you're already releasing this feature. I mean, one example is that for mainnet, are building a quite complex auction mechanism to distribute the names, and, thinking about building that on Solidity, and we were talking to our guys, potentially would take 2 or 3x the amount of time that it took us. And so, as far as, Paul talks about the intuitive nature, using an object-oriented approach for the language, being able to group, properties associated with objects that you own, whether it's a digital asset like an NFT or a token. I think that allows for the development on Sui, and specifically Sui Move, to happen so much more quickly. And so if you go look at DevNet right now, the number of dApps and the quality of the dApps that are on Sui today before even mainnet is quite remarkable.
Thank you, Sean. I think the next question is more related to each individual project, and it's about how do you plan to leverage Sui technology advancement to distinguish your product from existing options on the market, and also compare with the other blockchain product. Let's start with Jenny.
Yeah, happy to chat a little bit more and to give a little bit more context around Legends and why it's even just different from any other fitness game out there. It's the very first ever fitness game that you can play synchronously with your friends, no matter where they are in the world. So it's almost like a game of Fortnite or a game of League of Legends, but you're running and walking together while you're playing the game. So your movement controls your character, like you move faster or slower to activate skills during battle. You're working together with teammates in the multiplayer mode to take down these enemies together. Like we have an enemy called Chad, and we have an enemy called the Critical Grandma. So it's a very fun Gen Z-like game, and we definitely want to leverage a lot of the technology to make it work. So one thing that we do is that our NFTs in the game, like they're taking advantage of the Sui technology, and they're special pieces of gear which are infused with powers that give them different skills and aesthetics in battle. So players gain them by being the top of the leaderboards in our event system, or they can craft them by using in-game resources or being just on our whitelist as well. So there really is no like traditional or old school move to earn, play to earn mechanic in the game when it first launches. We instead want to really focus on making the NFTs fun to play with, even without earning attached as an expectation. And using the dynamic elements, you can actually morph these items in the game and characters in that sense as players use them in battles. So for example, defeating a boss might give you like a fire attribute for a limited amount of time, or running in New York might give you a snowy attribute. And that means more inherently, like your gameplay is adjusting and changing the sentimental value of the items. Like if you play with a friend, they use a cool piece of gear that you've never seen before, like you might get temporary buff. So we also want to make the Web3 experience free for the players, so that gasless sponsored layer to the Sui platform we're also taking advantage of, because we want to make it a frictionless experience for Web2 players. The Web2 gaming space is much larger, and also there's a lot of potential to just bring people in and show them that this is an optional yet exciting layer that makes the experience better, and it isn't something that blocks them from playing. They won't have to create a wallet. They don't have to do anything. They just realize like, oh wow, I have this really cool item and it makes my gameplay better and I want to invest more into it. And that's where they start learning about all these concepts. And it's not like we're trying to hide it from everyone, but we just want it to be a more friendly experience for especially new players.
Thank you, Jenny. And back to the decks. How you guys have been differentiating yourself with the decks on the other blockchains? Russell?
Okay, so part of your question was cut off, but I'm just going to assume that's what I do best. So yeah, first of all, we leverage what Move brings, and we believe that it is one of the safest language. Once again, as a DeFi, we do believe that the priority will be security for our clients, our customers, and we believe that Sui's Move does exactly that. And now moving on to how we are different and how we are different with other projects. It's definitely a topic I like to discuss because we are actually entirely different from head to toe with any other decks out there. First of all, like I said, we are a visualization decks, meaning that we will have visuals much better than other decks that offers maybe a simple swap function. We have graphs that's better than trading views, which allows you to implement different technical indicators and develop your own trading strategy. You can also draw your own technical indicators and publish it and share it with others. That's the other thing that we are doing. Second point, which is the social aspect. We're going to bring online a platform that allows traders to communicate with each other, much like if you think of traditional offers, maybe seeking alpha, maybe stock tweet, but it allows traders to talk to each other, discover maybe a gem in the market that nobody's paying attention to, maybe follow a trader that's being successful with a tracking record. We might even enable a subscription model for it. So that's a social aspect to a DEX nobody has done ever. Third, we're going to push out a game variable, which, if you have attended previous AMA we've been pushing, such as the one we just did last week, that we are dedicated to make things fun. Like Nadia said, if it's not fun, it's not worth doing. A lot of times, coming out of a traditional finance industry, thank you, sometimes I watch the market so intensely, even though the market is playing a fat line, I get distracted and I want to do something and I make a bad trade. I acted irrationally. That's not good. We cannot let boredom distract our users. We want to make sure they're successful. That is our mission. So we are going to push out mini games on the side of our trading tools. So you can actually play mini games while the market is not doing anything, and you can win tokens, our tokens, from those mini games. So we want to make it fun. We want to make it engaging, make it easy to use. Lastly, obviously, we are doing, like I said, many other things differently. For example, we have a token hunting bot, which nobody else has. Besides, Binance just pushed out one recently, but we've been developing ours for over a year. It allows users to input an order before the token is listed. And as soon as liquidity hits, their order is going to execute immediately. Nobody else has it. And obviously there's more, but for time's sake wise, I get too excited and I'm just gonna start babbling. So I'm gonna cut myself off. If you want to learn more, you can come hear us in the future AMAs as well. But thank you.
Thank you, Russell. Yeah, I think besides DEX and also Nadia, I know we have been talking about a lot of related to the wallet, and do you want to add a little bit more, like how your wallet be able to have the advantage compared to the other wallet in the market, and also from the other ecosystem?
Yeah, I'm happy to. I think, when you think about, there are so many wallets today, but when you think about sort of how they work and what they look like really, I think in terms of our current era, MetaMask has really sort of set that user experience precedent of what wallets do, what they look like. And most other wallets at this point have kind of followed that lead. And I think when you think about, what everyone here has sort of talked about in terms of the potential of Sui to create more secure, more fun, more straightforward experiences, both for developers and sort of consumers. For us, we really think that the wallet kind of has to be scrapped and needs to be completely reimagined. So for us, what we're really trying to do is not really think about, how do wallets work today, but try to think differently about what are the design patterns and user experiences that can really serve applications across lots of use cases for more mainstream users. I think wallets seem to be a lot more flexible. And so if you think about, the sort of spectrum of someone completely new, where maybe the wallet can be a little bit more transparent and in the background, and you shouldn't have to understand how to, get your seed phrase, tuck it safely in your soft drawer to be able to play a game. But you still should have full ownership over that experience, and you should be empowered and be educated so that you are able to sort of engage down the road when maybe you do have more valuable assets. So I think for us, we take a lot of inspiration from Apple, actually, and just from how they've sort of, if you think about, the Web 2 computing context, they really shifted the paradigm from like this really sort of like unsecure, confusing, like highly technical experience to where we are today. And they've really evolved what that is. And that's what we seek to do for consumers of Web3. So we really want to reimagine what a wallet is and how it sort of serves developers, building consumer applications, and the ultimate end users of those alike.
Well, I have to say I totally agree with you. I think like how we be able to providing the product is not just for the Web3 community, but it's for like a broader audience. Like be able to bring a lot more people to come to our communities and be able to enjoy our product. I think is more important thing. And like I think like also like since 2 years ago or maybe a year ago, like also like domain becomes super popular. Like I think at the beginning everybody was using a ENS, and then there's a lot more other compilers coming up. And I know Sean, you're also doing a domain related project. So could you share a little bit more about like how this SuiNs has been differentiated from the other domains servers?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, there's a couple things. The first one I'll start out with is our move service. So, today, if you look at other naming services, ENS name or, Space ID name, it can represent anything. It can represent a person, a website, a company. We took a very distinct approach to say that there's two types of key interactions that happen on the blockchain. One is from users, and the other is from projects, companies, and organizations. And so, within our name service, we specifically have two domains. We have the .sui domain that represents people, and we have the .move domain, which represents companies and the contracts they own on the blockchain. And so why that's really valuable from a user perspective is because there's so many folks that I talk to, and I'm, actually, I can blame myself for this too, but where you go to a website and you interact with a contract, and no one really takes the time to actually do all the checks to say, hey, is this contract doing what I think it's going to do? But at the same time, we spend a lot of our time and hard work to make that money that we're going to spend. And so we want to make it easy for users to be able to come on the blockchain and say, I'm going to mint this NFT, or I'm going to trade and purchase this token, and get insight into understanding this contract I'm about to interact with. What does it do? Has it been registered by the company that actually owns it? Is it doing something weird? And so we've partnered with amazing builders in the ecosystem like Ethos Wallet, for example, where we make it easy for users because it happens at the time that you're going to use your wallet. It happens at the time that you're going to actually interact with the contract. We can, help add elements to the UI to actually help the user know what's happening. So I think from an innovation perspective, that's definitely a key difference, that we've built in our platform, from a name service perspective. And then, there's so many things that we're doing from a Sui perspective that allows us to think differently. I won't go too much into it, but I'll just say that because of the infrastructure and how it's built and how the cost of actually doing interactions is so cheap, it allows you to think differently when you build. Things that you wouldn't typically bring on chain, things you wouldn't typically do in another blockchain, you're able to do and build differently on the Sui blockchain to give users a better experience, to give them more features and functionality they wouldn't have previously.
Thank you, Sean. And last but not least, Paul, do you want to share your thoughts as well?
Yeah, could you restate the question again?
Yes, so it's like how you guys are planning to leverage Sui technology advancement to distinguish your project from the existing options in the market, and also compare with the other blockchains.
Yeah, okay. I think that compared to other blockchains, the biggest difference will be that digital assets are not just financial assets, and it's kind of like both in terms of the tools and in terms of the mentality. Um, so so when you think about consumer goods, you want to have you want the creators to have price controls a lot of the times. And I know that sounds like kind of counterintuitive, but you think about when you go buy, let's say, a concert ticket, you might be able to give somebody like a discount code and it's like 50% off or something like that. When you think of a financial product, there's no such thing as like 50% off, right? There's can only be one price. Consumer goods can have multiple prices for multiple different peoples. Some people can have like a discount, etc. So going back to the concert ticket, sometimes you want to sell them below or different from a market price, and it would not make sense for me to be selling people concert tickets and then having other people buying them and speculating on the price and trying to get the price to go up. Like a small amount of that, those flippers, scalpers, it's okay, but once you get beyond a certain percentage, people get pretty pissed off because they actually want to go to the thing. So when you're thinking of a digital asset standard, you also have to think about the kind of market transferability rules that you want it to have, and you want to give the creators a lot of control over that. Not just in terms of like royalty enforcement, but being able to prevent scalpers. That would be like an example, or preventing an asset from being resold at all, or making sure that the asset can only be transferred to a wallet that you own. Like if I gave you like an AWS certificate as like an NFT, I wouldn't want you selling that to people. I wouldn't want you to send that to anyone who isn't your own multiple accounts. To my knowledge, nobody's really doing this in any other chains. They're all focused more on the financial market use cases. So I think that's pretty unique.
That's definitely unique, and from my own knowledge, I don't think other chains has been doing something like that too. And well, speaking of that, and after all of you guys share the differentiation compared to your product and also the other chains, and what do you guys think about the capabilities? Like how you guys planning to serve the customers outside the Sui ecosystem? Russell, do you want to go ahead?
Oh, me first again? Sure. Let's go. All right. So yeah, my teammates were telling me to calm down a little bit, so I'm gonna try to talk a little bit slower. But yes, so we are currently on Sui. We did think about doing multi-chain, deploying our projects to our blockchains. It's very easy. It's very easy to do, especially within the Move language group. However, after we did some research, we do believe that Sui does have the most potential. And watching the market, monitoring everything, we do believe that it's more important for us to push out a good product, to keep building before we really do anything too eager. With that being said, I do want to say that our ultimate goal when we started building OwlSwap, literally a year ago, is that we don't want to be just a DEX. We want to be a hub, a series of tools and data that people can come and check out and use to become better at their trading game. So that is ultimately our vision. Take it as you please. So yeah, that's my thought.
Thank you, Russell. And also, like Sean, do you want to jump in as well?
Yeah, I think for us, when we think about a name service, it's really a gateway to your identity, right? And for us, when we think about onboarding users that are outside of blockchain, the focus is really around culture and thinking about ways that we can bring folks that had potentially not been using blockchain previously to start using and representing and identifying themselves with blockchain and hopefully with our naming service. And so for us, our focus right now has really been around gaming and figuring out how can we bring experiences that gamers are used to. If you think about Steam and you think about, friends and contact lists and what folks are currently playing, those are some of the ways we're thinking about our product in terms of how to bring on this massive users that can really benefit from blockchain, but have been kind of steeped or been using Web 2 for a long time.
Got it. And Nadia.
I mean, I love the points that have been emphasized, both in terms of how do you support folks sort of where they are and how do you help like educate and bring folks into the Sui ecosystem. I think for us, a big focus is sort of on how do you get great sort of consumer products, new use cases. If you think about where a lot of the best experiences for a use case like gaming are today, you don't necessarily think of anywhere in Web3. You probably are thinking of mobile games that you play or, console. And so for us, a lot of it is really trying to help provide resources, particularly for builders at this stage, but also for users going forward. We came over, my co-founder and I, from Solidity in the Ethereum world before diving into Sui. And then before that, we're both pretty experienced builders in Web 2. I spent years working on new consumer products at Lyft. My co-founder has been doing startups, since Web 1. So we have launched a blog that provides education of why we chose to build on Sui, some of the things that we find exciting about it, giving specific examples on things like how you can improve security, why it's easier to read and reason about, why we think dynamic NFTs are the future of applications. So we really want to just share what we've learned and also just encourage more folks who are curious or maybe haven't even gotten curious yet, but want to create great experiences to understand why Sui Move really can help you do that across all kinds of use cases today. So we're really excited to just try to support as much as possible folks who are very, very new, or not even in this ecosystem yet, both on the developer and sort of the user experience side.
Thank you, Nadia. And Jenny?
Yeah, I mean, as a game, we're trying to reach as many players as we can. So that's kind of similar to what everyone was saying, like Nadia just said, around the Web 2 users. It's a much larger, there's 2 billion players in the world right now, and over half of them are playing on mobile. So those users we want to have playing Run Legends and playing the games that we continue to build after that too. So not just the Web 2 side, but I mean, once we finish our Sui integration, we're definitely going to look into being multi-chain and getting the game across multiple Web3 products. But obviously the goal is eventually just people are playing games. They're not on one chain and loyal to that chain. They're just enjoying experiences for what they are. And that stuff happens in the background, and it's the tech that's powering the experience. So that's a lot of where our minds are at and serving the billion users.
Well, thanks, Jenny. And by the way, I'm also a player with Mobile Legend. I'm looking forward to one day play more games on Sui. And Paul, you're next.
Yeah, so the question was integrating with other chains, right?
No, it's more like capabilities and how you guys planning to serve the customer outside the Sui ecosystem.
Oh, okay. Customers outside of Sui. So I don't really care, I guess, that much about people outside of Sui.
Ouch.
No. I'm thinking about it. Ideally, we would want to convert every NFT project over to Sui, at least all the good ones. And then ideally, we would want to convert every other game over to Sui. So we would want to get to a level of technical dominance where it's irrelevant to build on any other chain. Like our main competition, for example, if you're building a game, the main competition would be like hosting a server with Unity. Or are you going to host it on chain with Sui, or are you going to host it on Unity? Those are your options. Do you want centralized, decentralized, right? And then for other people, the other thing is that if you want to have a marketplace where you're selling assets on Sui. You need people to have money on Sui to buy stuff. So right now, no one has money on Sui because it isn't launched yet. So we've got to get money out of their bank accounts. We've got to get money out of their Bitcoin. We've got to get money out of their Ethereum, right? Like wrapped Bitcoin, wrapped Ethereum. Get as much of that as we can over to Sui so that we can have like a vibrant trading ecosystem. With a lot, people will have money on chain to buy things. Yeah, I guess that'd be my focus for other chains.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you, Paul. And well, we're almost there, and I want to thank again for all the guests here to spending time to share all of this exciting experience and the amazing product you're working on. And for the last questions, because it's about like celebrating our anniversaries and how we're planning to looking forward about the future. And we also want to know like what is the biggest news come out from your project, and what's the next big thing? Like, do you guys want to share with with us? I know Brendan have something want to say, but I'm gonna put it at the very last. Yeah, like share the good news with us.
I'm happy to jump in first and share a little Ethos Alpha. We're working on quite a bit, but I would say the experiences that we're the most excited about are as we sort of moves forward to the next testnet wave, really getting more integrated, as folks were saying, in terms of that sort of wallet application experience. So we've got two things cooking. One is currently in beta, which you can find if you have kind of a keen eye on our site. It's a redesigned wallet explorer that's all about discovering and interacting with your favorite applications on Sui. We have various levels of integration there, but the goal is to really provide seamless app experiences, not just for the apps that we've created, but for those like by the incredible builders here and others. You can also see soon a mobile application, and we're actually looking for developers to work with to create really mobile-friendly versions of their experiences natively in the application to sort of act as a companion to their core experiences and to help more sort of Ethos wallet users discover their app and get started. So those are a couple of things cooking. We're really excited. I think that I hope that what we're working on with mobile in particular looks and feels really different from how most of us imagine, crypto wallets looking today. The goal is to really make that sort of this home-based experience where it really feels personalized. You're excited to show it off to your friends. You're excited to dive in and interact. And it starts to feel more like this engaging, delightful, personal place.
Thank you, Nadia. That's definitely exciting. And anybody else have some good news want to share with us?
I'll share some fun alpha with everyone. So I don't think I haven't posted this yet anywhere. So it's truly alpha. No one's heard it yet. But, right now, Sui's on DevNet, testnet's going to come. And what that means is when folks interact on the blockchain, they can get Sui tokens from the faucet. You can kind of play around with dApps, play around with wallets in our service without an actual cost to you. And so why I mention that is because you can always come to our site and register a name right now. It won't be permanent when you go to mainnet. So for right now, it's pretty much testing and getting to, go through the process and get a name inside your wallet. But the alpha is that what we'll do here before mainnet launches is we'll have certain periods of time where if you mint a name, you'll get a special image. Right now we have our standard image, our logo behind the name that you choose. But with a lot of partners that we have, we've made a lot of partnerships with some of the best NFT collections, artists on the Sui blockchain. And so you'll start seeing every, one out of so many mints, a rare one on our site will have one of these special images. And if you get one, we're going to do some promotions with it, roles in our Discord and some other giveaways. So that's truly alpha. We haven't posted it yet, and I don't think we'll post that info for another week. But if folks want to start preparing, they can check that out. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Thank you, Sean. That's amazing. Okay, do we have more from the other project? Okay, I'm going to share some information on behalf of Brendan, and unfortunately, He could not to joining us today for some technical issues. So Brendan is the key partnership with the SuiGlobal. And the SuiGlobal, as you guys know, is the organization that's aimed on raising awareness and promoting the development of Sui Blockchain and associate project being built on Sui. And their mission is to enhance interactions and collaborations within the Sui ecosystem and to aim the series about helping evaluate the Sui ecosystem. And they recently have the new service just launched called Natural. Natural is where they provide a full range of service required for project growth at any stage of the process. And these services range from consulting, editing, driving engagement, alpha beta testing, tokenomics strategies, and as well as simply just making a strategic introduction to our to Sui network. To give a bit of example, they recently work with a few upcoming wallet in the space to provide user engagement for beta testing. So over a 30 days period, and just for one of the wallet, they were able to provide them over 3 million impressions to the public announcement, as well as over 25,000 unique signups to participate in their beta program. So SuiGlobal drives to evaluate Sui ecosystem, and they want the builders to be able to focus on building, and they can just handle the rest for them. So if you guys are building a project in the Sui ecosystem, and they would love to talk to you guys and to see how exactly they can help you. Thank you, and that's from Brendan, and it's very unfortunate he couldn't joining us, and I want a special thank you him to put a lot of effort in today's AMA, and thank you again for all the amazing guests from Sui ecosystem. I'm gonna hand over to Kalichi, and thank you again for all the audience.
Thank you, Victoria, for moderating the panel there, and also thank you for all our guest speakers. Very exciting, developments in the Sui ecosystem. I'll be very honest. I'm very new to the Sui blockchain, but after hearing all of you speak about what gets you excited and what you're building, the advantages of Sui, kind of strikes me as a blockchain that has a lot of promise, and so I'll definitely keep it on my radar moving forward. So some of the things are, because I was making some notes here about what you guys were saying, like dynamic NFTs. I think that's a very cool feature that Sui provides. I know a lot of blockchains kind of have to burn your NFTs, and it kind of takes away the user experience. So having a dynamic NFTs, that's a very good advantage, and also the kind of the ease of use to onboard developers and to gasless transactions. And so another thing I made a note of, and also the Sui NS basically enabling you to read and understand the contract before you interact with it. I think that's a good user experience. There's a lot of scare out there, if you're going to get hacked or your wallet is going to get drained. So providing that clear, understanding of, hey, this is what you're interacting with, be careful. I think that's a very good use case. The mini decks for your game, for your decks, OwlSwap that you guys are working on. I think that's very innovative, and I think that will really keep people engaged with your platform. So everything. I know there's a lot of talk about gaming as well. The Talofa games. So thank you so much, everybody, for providing all the details about the Sui ecosystem. I'm sure our audience have definitely learned a lot. I know I have. So, but unfortunately, that's all the time we have today. It's almost midnight in some places in the United States. So, but I think we covered a lot, and I think Sui is a very promising blockchain. So, thank you so much for everybody for joining us today. But before we go, I'll just also like to thank our users and our customers for always being here with us. Obviously, our 50th anniversary. We really appreciate you guys, and you are the reason why we are here. Customers from all over the place, all over the globe, you're the reason why we're here. So we want to thank you so much. And for our audience, our live audience, we still have a lot of people still, here with us. I think this is a very, very insightful and engaging AMA, and I think that's why a lot of people stayed to the end, because it was very engaging and educative. So thank you so much for spending time with us. Before we wrap things up, I would like to also remind everybody that our 1 million USDT anniversary campaign is live right now. So be sure to visit our website at bitmart.com to get more information. We will be here again tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern for day 3 of our anniversary AMA series, where we will be exploring GameFi, which is another, obviously something we touched on, briefly here, but we're also going to dive deeper into GameFi, SocialFi, and digital ownership as well, with another exciting panel, and obviously more exciting prizes and giveaways as well. So, but on behalf of everybody.
Hold on, Glitchy. Before we actually end, I want to have one more news and to celebrate today's entire panel. I know Jenny wants to share something, and I couldn't let her go before. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, happy to just go quick. Sorry, I didn't realize we were
Wrapping
out of
things
time,
up.
but I guess a quick fun update on Talofa Roadmap Run Legends side is that our game is available for pre-order. We are launching quite soon, so if you go on TestFlight or if you go on the Apple App Store or Google Play Store, it's all in our link in bio. You can actually go ahead and be the first to download the game on day 1, so you won't miss it, and you'll be the first to play the game, be the first to earn, so definitely go ahead, do that. It's a free game. Also in our test flight, and you can even register for our open beta right now, and we have a competitive feature leaderboards. Some of the people in the audience, Trey Roxton and Lazy Bone are really high up, so it's a really fun feature. And if you pre-order and you're in our Discord, we are whitelisting players, so you can get a free NFT by being on that whitelist. So those are just some fun, exciting news and offers for anyone who's interested in being a player. Thanks, Victoria, for letting me give my update.
Well, thank you, Jenny. That's definitely interesting. I want myself to be on the whitelist, please.
Yeah, Victoria, I didn't know you're such a gamer. That's very exciting. Yeah, definitely. I'll encourage our audience to go check out. Can you give us your website again, for our audience to go directly to find out more about the game? Nadia, Jenny. I think are you still with us? Can you give us your actual website domain for our audience to go check out? Nadia.
Oh, yeah, the website is talofagames.com.
Okay. All right. Talofagames.com. I think that's TALOFA games.com.
You got it.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. So thank you everybody for joining us in today's AMA. On behalf of everyone at BitMart, I want to say thank you for joining us, and please enjoy the rest of your day. Take care, everybody, and have a good one.
Thank you, Kalichi. See you guys tomorrow.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. See ya.